Dave Weigel, Family Court Fraud Warrior Project, February 10th, 2026. The absolute biggest and most important investigative report this project has ever come close to revealing, to putting out to the universe, to the entire globe, about the organized crime unit out of Stamford, Connecticut. Today's a big day. Today's a big day when the Warrior Project faces off with the mob of Connecticut that we ain't scared of, because we've got the whole world watching you. Let me tell you about a new security system that I installed in my home, my kid's home, my daughter's car. Really very, very smart. AI enabled. We've already fed in the pictures and the names of culprits. John D. Federico, disgraced police chief of Canaan, Connecticut. Officer Carlos Prado. We're going to show you today the unequivocal ironclad evidence of the federal felony creating false records. Yes, Prado and Di Federico, you do federal penitentiary time for these crimes that have been posted and published by a card-carrying journalist under the freedom of the press and the First Amendment of the United States of America. So you can cry baby all you want about tying this into a TRO that was contrived. That's already been proven by Luthmann's last article. And the one that was posted today is the death sentence of your careers and the disgrace that you are going to put forth on your entire families, that you have only yourself to blame. You could have been a real man. You could have been a real Italian. My mother's maiden name is Corleone. I made my millions helping people, putting kids through college, retiring good people, learning how to use my brain to assess the environment and make money. I didn't have to harm children. I didn't have to run around and harass my 14-year-old and my 17-year-old with some bogus DFS investigation. It was an absolute farce. Now, when I got my kids back, I couldn't unsee what I've seen. I couldn't turn my back on everybody else that was left in there. And now we've got a big day because we've got iron-clad evidence of your conspiracy and your federal felonies. I'm going to take everybody through this right here, fill in the gaps of what famed independent investigative journalist Richard Luthmann might have left out. So far, there's going to be a series of articles because we're not done. And I'm going to put this out here right now to all the citizens of Connecticut. We're doing an outright APB here. I need you guys to send me not all your documents, your four most conclusive pieces of evidence of the criminal activity that you have suffered out of that Stamford courthouse corruption cell that goes all the way up the Democratic Party. Mr. Trump, I hope you're watching. I know that you don't have particularly good thoughts about Connecticut, and I understand why. Because it's as dirty as they saw. These people are filthy. Absolutely filthy. I'm going to take you through the chronology of what I faced. You all saw what happened. You all saw what happened on February 2nd. I walked into an outright execution. The fact that they could do this without any care in the world, as if there is no FBI, as if there is no Bill of Rights, as if there is no Constitution, as if there is no law enforcement in this country to worry about at all. Well, we're working with the feds now. They don't want me to say this, but I don't do that good with listening. But we're going to start take people through the actual chronology from January 15th, when I was supposedly arrested. The first in a series of criminal acts that we're going to take you through. So On January 15th, this all started with a call. And that call came in at 3:11 p.m. I'm sitting at the kitchen table in New Canaan, happen to be spending some time up with my family in Connecticut. I'm bouncing back and forth between New York and Connecticut. And 19 minutes before the attack on me in the house, I get a call from what was investigated to be the Connecticut Judicial Branch. Connecticut Judicial Branch. January 15th, why would I be getting a call from anyone in the Connecticut Judicial Branch when I don't live in Connecticut? I have no anything in Connecticut, no cases, no zero, absolutely zero. Could it possibly be that they pinged my phone to see and make sure that I was home? And then you saw in the testimony, you saw in Richard Luthmann's article today, how Zuelia's, whatever her name is, testimony stated that they talked about it and made the decision that if the father went up to the house, that would be too intimidating. That means it was organized. It was pre-planned with possibly John DeFederico from the New Canaan Police. 19 minutes before she bangs on my door with this horrific, ridiculous story, and admitted in court that she was there to seize the alcohol that was in my home that her son bought with a fake ID so that she could take that alcohol back to the store, then call the police and blame them for selling alcohol to a minor. Who's this, the 7th, 8th party that this ridiculous woman has blamed other than her son for everything under the sun? And yes, how did I get a call from the property manager immediately while the police was there? 409. It's a property manager, doesn't even live in town. Doesn't even live in town. So here it is. I'm getting calls from my daughter, 3:59, 3:52, 3:50, 3:45. How does everybody know immediately this is happening? And then right here, after they left, with no arrest whatsoever, after Carlos Prado told me that, yes, I was being written up for third-degree assault on my intruder. On my intruder. Can't you kill somebody in Florida for someone breaking into your home? That's how ridiculous this case is. I don't know if they're that dumb or that just convinced that there's nobody out there to stand up to these people. Well, we're standing up to them. We're 20,000 strong right now, and we're growing hundreds per week. And we're only getting tighter and stronger. And we're only going to continue revealing. I'm putting an APB out to everyone in Connecticut. You have evidence against crimes against these criminals in Stamford, Connecticut, in New Canaan Police? Get in touch with the Warrior Project. Get in touch with any one of the moderators, any one of the admins. Reach out to Danny at fraudwarrior.org, DANI at fraudwarrior.org. Get in touch with us. Because what they said here is from the time 4:36, well, the police was still there, 4:36 to 5:56, the 1 hour and 20 minutes it took me to drive from New Canaan to my home in New York City, 50 miles, was apparently when I was arrested. When you're arrested, do they let you make phone calls throughout the entire time? Did they let you make phone calls the entire time you're arrested? There was no arrest. There's no fingerprints. There's no mugshot. There's no body cam evidence. The FOIA requests are in. I wonder what excuse they're going to come up with why those FOIA requests are going to be denied. Illegally denied against the laws of the United States of America. It's coming. They're not going to hand over the police recordings, the ones that I have going on here now. But let me go back to telling you about my new security system. My new security system is AI enabled, and all of these people's pictures and names have been fed into it. And if they are found around my daughter's car or around my home, that information immediately goes to the FBI, immediately goes to the press. It knows exactly whose police officer car, whose DCF car, whose license plate, all the public information. It will pull immediately, send it directly to the feds and directly to the press. So anybody else who would like to join in on this RICO investigation and want to involve themselves in this organized crime, please come forward. Please show up at my daughter's school or my son's school again, because that's under review as well. There's eyes everywhere now, because why are they coming after me so hard? Because they know my machine works. We've been able to harness the power of the court of public opinion over this disgusting legal system that we have here in the United States right now, that has created this sea of victims from county to county, every single state, for over 35 years. No wonder they're all fat and lazy and their brains are atrophied. They haven't had to figure out anything other than what lie they're going to use that day in 30 years. I was on the air that night in front of 50 people talking about what happened to me that night. But I want you guys to notice what's the one thing, two things we're not talking about now that I've been attacked from the courts, the police, DCF. Oh, I'm even getting a subpoena from Cindy Adams's own attorneys. Is subpoenaing Dave Weigel. How does that help Cindy Adams's case? Why is that relevant to her divorce? Or could it be that Cindy Adams' own attorneys, Mr. Getty, is serving the judge's interests over your client? That is a disgrace to your oath. Poor Cindy believes that you're a family friend and you're looking out for her interest. You're a disgrace. You're a disgrace to this country. Also, Zuelia is claiming that I'm texting her that night. Again, if I'm arrested, how am I texting her? They let you keep your phone when you're in jail? No. She's a proven liar. Proven liar. And yet they're still going after my kids. Today, they harassed my daughter. They have a picture, a video of me dancing with her friends on the party bus. Oh my God, you people are morons. You really think this is going to stick? The whole world is watching. You're not intelligent people. You're not going to pull this off. We're going to expose you to the world. Everyone you know is going to know this. They're going to know what you really do for a living, that you engage in family terrorism and organized crime. You're a disgrace to this country. You're causing an entire generation of broken souls. That's what you do every day. That's your value on this planet. Your value is a net negative to society. How do you live with yourself? How do you look yourself in the mirror every day? So I get a call at 11:50 that night on the 15th from this 203 number. And that call lasted 4 minutes and 49 seconds. 4 minutes and 49 seconds. Yeah, that is the telephone number from the New Canaan Police Department. New Canaan. That was Officer Carlos Prado. If I was arrested that day, what did we have to talk about? Oh, what we did talk about was the fact that he didn't arrest me, and that if I didn't stop text messaging the Alvarez, I did text message the father and told him he messed up big time. He messed with the wrong dad. And did I insult him? Yes, because that's what you do in a verbal fight. Okay? Is that a felony? Absolutely not. Is that in defense? Absolutely. I've never initiated a thing with that disgusting family. The only thing we've done was be certified by DCF to accept their son into our home. So how can our home be designated a safe house, Mr. and Mrs. DCF, in October, yet there's this massive, valid investigation into Dave Weigel being some sort of a perv who grooms teenagers to be gay when his own children are not gay, and he has no interaction with kids in any part of his work? He runs a hedge fund and has clients in their 60s and runs a 20,000 person charity of all divorced parents. Not a single bit of interaction with children everywhere, yet that's a valid complaint? Or is that collusion with the police department and you're showing up for a hit? Again, you people are not that bright. How come stupid people don't know they're stupid? Because I guess that would make you smart then. Well, you're going to be stupid people in federal prison very soon. Now, let's go over the meat of this, the real potatoes, okay? The ironclad evidence. The ironclad evidence. I was accused, it's in the paperwork I'm going to show you, that I was arrested on the 15th, creating false records, federal felony. And then I was also arrested on January 20th at Stamford Courthouse for violation of a restraining order that was not put in place until February 2nd. I was arrested on January 20th for a restraining order that was put in place in the future. These people put this in writing. They didn't stop themselves. Nobody sat there and said, that's going to look bad. No, they didn't think that this would be published to the millions and millions and millions of concerned citizens globally about this. But here's the thing here. I left on January 18th to go to Kentucky to help Cindy Adams in her case and fight off the disgusting family terrorists in that courthouse. And when I made my entrance to that state and told her attorney, her opposing attorney, that my name's Dave Weigel, you just met the destroyer of your family terrorism business model, he quit the case 3 days later. Tiffany Yar has got a lot of eyeballs on her, and they're desperate. And they just got Cindy's own attorneys, because if they did it on their side, they'd know I reported. But they're smart. If it comes from Cindy's own attorneys, well, yeah, we're a little bit smarter than that too, because Cindy's own father, I saw the email saying, what are you doing? How does this help Cindy? This is a waste of money. I'm not paying for it. Well, Cindy's own father didn't realize that Mr. Getty is working for the judge, not him, not his daughter. A situation we've seen at the Warrior Project over and over and over again, and why there needs to be full-scale regulatory investigation on the lawyer industry in family court. The CFP board, the SEC needs to take over regulation of that, take it away from the Bar Association. The Bar Association, we've already proven, is the source of this crime. It's why they're so audacious with not even worrying about committing felony after felony. So yeah, Expedia, January 18th, text message. Yep, my flight's leaving soon. Okay, here's the actual itinerary. Here's the actual, it can be proven whether or not you're on a flight. That's pretty definable reasons, pretty definable facts to get. Okay, I was originally scheduled to come home on the 24th, but I postponed it and stayed till the 27th. We're going to make sure all of this gets on record. Originally scheduled to be coming home on the 27th and 24th, and I extended it to the 27th. January 27th, text message. So what happened between the 18th and the 27th? Well, in Connecticut, there must be a magician there, because not only does the record say that I was arrested on January 15th, it says I was arrested on January 20th. arrested. How can I be arrested when I'm 1,000 miles away? Because I didn't, because it's fraud and it's a federal felony. That police chief, John DeFederico, will be going to the federal penitentiary for. What else happened? What else happened? Oh, over that time period, Frank Lito, who is a real estate attorney, but apparently connected in Connecticut, somehow his law firm, Goldman, Gruber, and Woods, have signed up as David Weigel's representation for his criminal case. This is as of February 5th. How in the world does the opposing attorney appear on the official records as my attorney, and why might that be? Maybe to get into the docket and screw it up and pretend that they're representing me and maybe put in already a guilty plea? These are serious, serious crimes. And it pleases me to no end that I've caught you dirty bastards. The amount of people that you've hurt, you losers. This is how you have to make your money. You couldn't figure you can develop a talent, a skill in this world. This is how you have to make your money, buy your boats. Pathetic. Arrest date. Federal conspiracy. The coordination between the courts, the police, and DCF. They didn't even hide it. On the way home from the court, I get a call from DCF. And DCF calls the next day, and we recorded all of it. And the dumb woman said, well, I don't want you to report it. I bet you don't. And I told her, I said, if there's no fraud on this call, there's no reason for me. There's no news. But if there is fraud, and there was, it will be reported. And it will. And that's going to be the next series when we do the expose on how corrupt DCF is in this particular case. And we will be exposing faces and names of the culprits who are acting from orders from John DeFederico and above, and above. So here we also have a fake juris number. Our head of research looked into it. It's not a real number. How does a fake juris number get on the official records with no attorney assigned, just in a law firm? Highly illegal. Highly illegal. People, notice there's two things we are not talking about. We're not talking about right now, which is the center of everything. The center of everything is that boy, Matias Alvarez, who had been communicating through my daughter how much he wanted to run away, and had asked me through my daughter if he could hide out at my apartment in the city. And I told my daughter, I said, I feel bad for him. I said, but that's not a good long-term plan. I wish I got busy. I didn't follow up that vehemently. I didn't know how bad it was. But the two things we're not talking about is how that boy is being forced to live in that home after a gun was pulled to his head for coming out as gay in 2026. And the bigger news is how there was no investigation of the gun. 30 of my daughter's friends all know about the gun, have all heard it. The school knows about it. The school called DFS. DFS knows about it. No investigation of this gun. Why? Oh, appears the Alvarezes have bought into a protection racket. Oh, New Canaan police, the best law enforcement money can buy. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. This woman's story is so ridiculous. She's so dumb. I mean, she couldn't stop lying. She said, I slapped her and choked her and kicked her in the neck. Do I look like a ninja to you? I could kick somebody in the neck. But these lies stand in these corrupt courts. Kavanaugh, what a disgrace. to just shit on the honor of the bench. How do you live with yourself? Or, memento. He's got this list. He knows one word in Spanish. Memento. Where do we get these people? Let me be clear. There is no valid restraining order. We've proven beyond a reasonable doubt, through hard evidence, just how much fraud is involved in this entire hit. And the feds, I know you don't want me mentioning it, but I have an obligation to every victim that has come to this project in desperate need of help, because they don't have the resources I have. They don't have the ability to get this word out to everybody. They don't have the protection of millions of eyeballs and ears on me, on them, as they do on me. And it is my obligation. If I have to stay traveling state to state, being hidden by all my warriors so that I can continue to report each and every piece of evidence of these criminals' actions, I will do it. I told my kids, Daddy's going to war. Daddy's going to have to be away for a little bit so that you guys can be safe in your own home. Never in a million years did I ever think I had to worry about the police in the United States of America, in a town like New Canaan. In a town like New Canaan, $5 and $10, $15 million homes. I wish I would have known before. No, I still wouldn't have paid you guys off, because I'm a fiduciary and I would never do that. But I'll be damned if I'm going to have my kids' lives be in jeopardy from corrupt cops, no less. No, there are 20,000 people here that refuse to live in a police state, and damn well refuse to live in a corrupt police state. Now, we're going to play a game. It's called Who's Going to Jail First? Are you going to be able, with this ridiculous set of allegations and no evidence under the sun in front of the whole world's eyes, try to concoct Dave Weigel as being some sort of a felon, some sort of a pervert? See, what you guys don't understand is you guys have been working with the old system for so long. We created a new system, one that works, one where we have 29 successes already. Once we make it that everyone you know knows exactly what you've done, it changes things in real life. So you write whatever papers you want in there. I will not be walking in to an execution in those four walls in Connecticut. I'll show up for Zoom. I will not be walking physically present. I will sit here and I will out each and every single criminal, each and every single crime, post each and every piece of evidence and explain it so that everyone with over a third grade education understands just how much of criminals you are. We're not done collecting victims. We're going to create must-see TV. We're going to show the world in real time the play-by-play. Who goes to jail first? Dave Weigel or John DeFederico? Dave Weigel or Carlos Prado? Dave Weigel or, I don't know, the people you're getting your orders from? That Luthmann wrote about in his article? That's above my pay grade. I'm just here to protect mothers and fathers and children. I never signed up for going after the mob, but if taking down the mob is what we have to do, then fuck it, we'll do it. Because I got eyeballs on me. Always. This is Dave Weigel, Family Court Fraud Warrior Project. No, you didn't fucking scare me.